Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman29. This is a video. I've seen this great exchange going on. My dad confronts me about atheism, where a lot of things are happening, dynamic things are happening in the process of figuring things out, and conflicts between non-belief and belief systems. And I just wanted to say it at click before. I've been there, man. I'm an agnostic also. I came out of fundamentalism, and my parents took it a lot better than I think. They were a lot more understanding than your dad seems to be. However, they were pretty fundamentalist. Well, they themselves weren't as fundamentalist, but they attended a pretty fundamentalist church. It was Pilgrim Holiness Church. It's a break-off from the Wesleyans, kind of mixed with old Free Methodists. So yeah, we had dress codes and the whole thing. I kind of went through the same thing. I'm gonna go through this pretty quick. I really think what King Heathen did with that video was a pretty good idea, because it starts the ball rolling. And I've talked to King Heathen a few times, and he's a really great guy. What I think, I'm going to tell you how I did it, to save you a few steps. And it's not about the sparring. It's not about the sparring. I guess you have to know the tactics that they use to make you feel guilty about your decisions, and tactics they use to try to get you back into the group, and then tactics of exclusion from the group. So when your dad said you have to leave, he's not really comfortable. Not that he said you had to leave, but he feels comfortable with a atheist or living among him. That's part of the start of the exclusion process. And quickly, the religion of love ends up being switched around, unfortunately, a lot of times. So maybe you would benefit more studying everything you can find about fundamentalism, because what I don't want to happen is when you leave, I went through the hate stage. Hate stage lasts a couple of years, you know. It's just a waste of time. But now I got to the point where I understand what they believe. I understand why they believe it, how they believe it, how they came to those views. I understand the history behind them and how they originated, and it makes it a lot easier when dealing with it, because when they're talking to you, in your brain you can say, oh, this is why they think this way, this is even why they're saying this to me, and it helps you to give a better response. And I have found when leaving fundamentalism and confronting some of the issues and questions that they have about your ideas, and they want to spar, even though I don't really care for sparring with fundamentalists. Study Judaism. Judaism, point by point, totally discredits fundamentalist beliefs, especially evangelical fundamentalism. Texts like Ezekiel 18, when dealing with original sin, are really great to look at, which clearly shows sin passes on. So it does not pass on. So study fundamentalism, different types of fundamentalism, and a really good book that I had here is Fundamentalism's Observed, study put out by Chicago University. It's an awesome book. Also, Growing Up Fundamentalist, and I read, when I was leaving at the time, I read some of Shelby Spong's books. Got pretty heavily into Joseph Campbell, so I know how religion works, what makes people tick, metaphors, archetypes, and also I got into textual criticism. It's a lot of studying. Some people aren't for that. But through all that, I remained agnostic because I set boundaries on myself. It's more about understanding each other rather than hating each other. And hating each other and hating fundamentalism will only eat you alive if you constantly dwell on it. And then forever you will be making hate videos against fundamentalism. But now, I think that I understand where they're coming from, and I actually can appreciate a little bit the history. I know why they think like they do, why they hold such beliefs, where they got them from, and why such traditions exist. So even though I don't attend, I'm still welcomed back. I'm welcomed into my family's home. I do go and visit old friends, but however, when I leave, they clearly know my views. They clearly know where I stand. I don't make any bones about it, and I know sometimes that can be hard if you're just going through and not knowing, but make it a point. Make it a point to educate yourself not only about atheism, but all the stuff that you never educated yourself about when you were within the belief system, which is very important. And like I said, if you don't know what's wrong with the belief system, you just ask the ex-wife. She'll tell you everything. Ask people who disagree. Sometimes even go into groups like Jehovah's Witness to see how mainline evangelicals think, or even the Mormons, all these other groups, and use the information against each other to kind of put question marks and show them how you feel by, for 1 second, adding a question mark in their mind. And so I hope that you progress through the stages and eventually come to terms and be able to leave without going through the grueling steps that I did, which is a pretty long process. But the way is laid out. People have trodden that path before, and it's best to maybe even talk to some people that have gone through it. There's a great Exit Fundy user group on Yahoo Groups where people who have left, mainly when you just leave, you're in the hate stage and retaliation stage, but some there have moved past that to a better way of life. So take care and good luck, and I wish you the best. And remember, friends, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.